Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 out of 3 videos to help you get up and running with Supervibes super quick. Now in the first video, we basically just scaffolded out a workout app. We wanted the app to track 3 main lifts, and we used the Supervibes starter pack to kind of give us onboarding and some other things out of the box. So the purpose of this video is to kind of show you how you can start with Supervibes and prompt to get the results that you want. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to look at onboarding, right? We're going to see how the onboarding turned out, and we're going to iterate from there. So here we go. Welcome to Super Strong Lifts. Let's get you started with a quick setup. Let's go through it. What should we call you? Jordan. What's an age group? 18 to 24. I wish. Not 24, unfortunately. Now, here's the first thing I'm going to note. What are you interested in? Some of these don't look like they really apply, so I'm going to make a note to fix that. And one thing that I do is I actually use the prompt text entry for notes as I'm going along through something. So fix the interested in screen. All right, so let's just continue on. I'll say music just to see what else we can do here. Weight units. I think that's perfectly logical to have in our workout app. I like that. Activity level. Another good one. And it's asking me to enter my estimates for those 3 lifts. Okay, so I like this. I'm gonna say I haven't done any of these yet. We'll complete setup. So what I saw on that onboarding is that there was one part that really just didn't even apply. The what are you interested in? So let's see if we can fix that first. During onboarding, we ask what the user is interested in, but none of the topics apply to our app. Let's remove that. In our case, I don't think that we need to change it or add something else. The other things that we were prompting them for made sense in the context of the app. I think it was the weight units and also what they've lifted before. So Supervibes is going to get to work. It's looking at that. It sees that it's step 3. It's going to log out what it's doing. So we'll hang tight and we'll see what the result is here. Now that it's done that, let's go ahead and run the app again. We're going to launch it to the simulator, and let's confirm that those changes actually worked. So we can see the update here. It took it out. It updated the analytics, did a few other things. So I'm going to go through here and just confirm that that's the result that we got. So Jordan, and sure enough, cool. It passed right over that step. So I'm happy with this. I think this onboarding is fine for now. Of course, we'll want to clean up the design later. But now let's focus on what the app does. So in my mind, in a workout app, we're logging 3 main lifts. I would imagine 1 for each day of the week. Maybe you skip it, maybe you work out that day. But that's the part we need to address now. Now, if we remember, we had these notes from when we very first opened the app of what we should probably work on next. What I like to do, because the starter project almost always works this way, is I copy these and keep them somewhere else because these are basically my to-dos. That's basically what's next. So we're going to take Supervibes advice and we're going to work on that log workout view. So let's prompt it to do that. Okay, so I'm going to read out what I put here. Once the user is done with onboarding, we need to show log workout view. It should be fully functional and give us a foundation to iterate on. Please replace the view that currently shows with the actual log workout view, but keep the settings button. Now, most of the time it does keep that settings button. I included that just in case it doesn't, because that lets us reset the app very, very easily. So it's going to get to work on that, and let's see what the result is when it's finished. Okay, and we're back, and we've got another rundown of what was accomplished here. I'm going to go ahead and run and build it to see what we have. So it looks like it fleshed out that log workout view. We have a lift selection. We can add sets, notes, gave us some back-end implementation details. Looks like we're using Swift data. That's great. And an updated user flow. Now, the user flow is we do onboarding. We get the main view. That's what we want. We still have the settings button. And then we log and we do a workout and we're ready for the next one. Okay, this looks great. So here is the log workout view. Now, again, you got to keep notes of things to tweak along the way. Right away, we can see the setting button is obviously not going to work there. It looks like Claude did not put that in the navigation bar, so that's something I'll look to fix. But here's the core of the app. We wanted to either log a bench press, we wanted to do a squat, or a deadlift. We can do that now, and we can put in the weight number. I'll say, what is this, bench press? 180 was my most recent max. That was a single rep. recent PR, okay? Tough workout. There we go. And then if we do squat, I can see that it's keeping the data, so I'm gonna note that. And as you can see, again, you can use another text editor for this, but I think it's great to keep notes so you can knock out multiple things between prompts. I mentioned that earlier, but right there I said I want to reset the data between your lifts, so you can see that when I go from bench press to squat, that's the data still there, staying the same. We don't want that, and we want to move this navigation bar. Okay, let's start there and let's see where we get next. So, okay, I'm going to read this all out so you can kind of see how I structure my own prompts. Now, there's no right or wrong way, in my opinion, to do this, but it gives you an idea of how I work and how I've seen good results. So, I took my notes and I fleshed them out. Now I said, once the user enters in data for a lift, such as a bench press, and toggles to the next one, the data should be reset and unique to each lift type. So if I log 100 pounds on a bench press and toggle to squat, that shouldn't show 100 pounds, but when I go back, it should. Also, the complete workout button was disabled the whole time. We need to activate that once they enter in all lifts, add an S there, a minimum of one set each, or the ability to skip a lift. Finally, the navigation bar should have the settings cog in the top trailing position. It appears it's not in one currently. Okay, so that's our next prompt. Let's see where we get after, I believe, just 3 prompts in this video. All right, we've got some changes in, and again, Supervibes is always going to end with a summary of what it just did. So we have per lift state management, great, we needed that. Workout button shows, perfect, and the nav bar is where it should be. Okay, this looks good. Now again, prompting is an art, working with LLMs is an art. You can see that it did one thing right, but didn't fix an original issue I alluded to. So in my next prompt, I'm gonna have it remove this extra settings button, but it did put it up here where I wanted it. So let's look and see how it did. Bench press, let's go ahead and say 100 pounds. Now if I switch to squat, that should clear out. It does, and I go back, and there it is. Amazing. This is exactly kind of what I needed. One thing that I did ask for that I don't see is the ability to skip, so we'll handle that next. But we're off to a foundational start, and that's what I really want to drive home here, is when you vibe code or use any vibe coding tool in addition to Supervibes or something else, what you're really trying to do is get your basics down first and then iterate, right? Think of it like a rough draft. I'm trying to get the app out of my head and onto the screen and have it do the minimally viable product stuff that it needs to do. In our case, that's log these lifts. And then from there, we can hone on in it and make it look better. So in the last video, I'm gonna do some more, I hesitate to say advanced, but I guess that's the best word for it, advanced techniques to show you how you can open up Xcode if you want to, and kind of add that extra layer of polish that every app needs. So I will see you there.